divorce, I've seen a lot of women say, I'm not getting married again because it's about me, right? I don't want to have to consider somebody. So I say that to tie it back to, I'm saying I hope Janae and Bose and whoever, if the women want to find love, I want them to find love, because love, being in a relationship certainly doesn't define a person.
Right.
For sure. Janae, please come home. Okay, anyway. Moving on to, I'm going to skip over Married to Medicine because I really want to get into
Potomac?
the Potomac of it all. I just got to say one more time, Janae, come back home. We're rooting for you. Okay. I'm sorry because that one kind of hit me.
Sorry.
I'm going to have to fight you after this.
When I talk about Janae, Kara gets like that too. She's like, okay, moving on.
Kara, because we know Kara.
I like her. I understand how she got that way.
I was going to say, but it also is important when you learn, when you see how a person thinks and you pay attention, it does explain, like you said with the Tyra, how you get to where you are. It explains
also,
it.
I'm a mom of girls. So like, I'm not like, people a lot of times are like, I'm not talking about what he did to you. We're talking about how you cannot get yourself in this situation. We're always going to be talking. I'm not parenting.
You protecting yourself. Yes. I'm not. Oh, that's good. I'm not parenting what's out there. I'm parenting. I'm preparing you.
Right.
For. Speaking of, how did we get here?
Wendy and Eddie.
Chai is a part of the Nigerian community. And I always say, Chai, well, not always, I'm not just saying it, it's true. Chai knows the people that know the people that know the people, honey. Chai, if this is inappropriate to ask, I know you would tell me. And I'm not, look at her face. She's like, wait,
what are you about to ask me?
Because we talk about everything, right? I know that everyone doesn't know everyone in their communities. All Black people don't know every Black person.
Right.
All Hispanics don't know every Hispanic. All Ethiopians don't know Ethiopians, which, by the way, can I just say, I really want to get my DNA done. I can't tell you the amount. A lady got in my
Those
car.
are your forehead and your teeth.
How do you know what I'm going to say?
Oh, because I have eyes and I'm African, so I know obviously you're like, okay.
What are you going to say? What do you think people ask me?
You give East African. I can see that. Maybe even Somali. Sometimes you give a little Somali. You could be Eritrean, Ethiopian.
That's what I get. So this lady got in my car once, an older lady. I thought she was Hispanic. She goes, "Are you my people?" And I was like, and she goes, I didn't quite know. I thought she was Hispanic. She says, "I'm Ethiopian." And she said, "You're a beautiful woman." Of course, I took that in. Oh, yeah. No, but she said, "I think you're Ethiopian." Months later, I drove the same lady. And I don't always remember passengers either. She gets in, we're driving, and she says, "Are you Ethiopian?" I've picked up a mother, father, and a daughter. Can I ask you a question?
Right.
And I keep getting that. And I'm like, so you said it's my forehead and my teeth? Because when I Googled Ethiopia. We all have a bit of a vain side. Mm-hmm. And it said that Ethiopian people are known for their beauty. And I said, that's why they asked me.
Exactly.
So wait, so you said my forehead and my teeth?
Yeah. It's also like your cheek, like you just have the face, but yeah.
You want to be on top?
Okay.
No. No. Okay, but for real. Possibly inappropriate question. I want to know, Wendy and Eddie are Nigerian and they're Igbo. You are Igbo as well.
Mm-hmm.
The people that you know, are they talking? Has that been a topic of conversation? And if it has it been, we can't believe? If they think I want to say allegedly, but I mean, has it been, we don't believe they did this, or we can't believe they did this and we're caught?
I think more so it's like, I can't believe they did this.
Okay.
Right. Like, I don't think that, like, the older you get, I don't think like you're surprised by
a lot.
Right? Like, it's that they was poorly done is
okay. Gotcha.
Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? Like and that's speaking to like okay, I'll give my biggest point on this is like I remember like when I first got married,
Hmm.
a lot of things like advice that my dad gave me. My dad was like, I don't care how long you've been married, and once you've been, you never swear for a man, right? You never swear for him. You don't know
Really?
what he's doing. Okay. I don't care how much you think you know, but you just don't. Right. And
Wow.
even if you always protect yourself, right? And I'm like, all right.
Okay.
And then
I like
another
that you
thing,
never swear for a man. Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, my mom was, that's like a very Nigerian thing to say, though. In
Okay.
general, it's like you don't swear for him. Like even like women will be like, you don't like that's your husband. You do not swear for him. That's a very evil thing to do. Like
Okay. Wow.
it's
Okay.
like you're
Okay.
not like you teach your daughter. You're not like you don't know what he's
You
doing.
don't know what
Like
he's doing, right?
don't ever come and try to testify for him. You don't know what he's doing.
Okay.
Um, and another thing my dad said is that like the more money that you make and you guys start making is that you get more opportunities to cheat and skirt the rules. You are not white. You can't do what they do.
Mm.
Right. And my dad said literally my dad, do not, even if it looks simple, if it look pulled my ear, right? You
Wow.
are not white. Right. You are like he would you are not white.
Oh my gosh.
Because you don't like it the more and like the more as you get older, I've realized that it's like you see the the cheating the taxes, the
Yes. Yes.
I, you see your neighbors. Oh, the police were there. There's a riot. Now they got a pool. I know there wasn't no motherfucking robbery in my neighborhood.
Okay, got you. Okay, got
You
you.
see it, right? Like you,
Okay.
and the more money you make, the more casually, like you just see that there are more opportunities to skirt the rules.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. And you feel like,
And the more clearly every people are talking about it, people are like, you're with your family, like, how did you guys do that? How did you? And I'm like, oh, okay, that's not legal. That's not legal. That and you
wow.
start to realize like, oh, but I can't do those things because it. And I will even tell my dad was like, when they start to look for someone to pick up and round up, it'll be your black ass every time. Okay.
So, wow.
And
Okay.
I'm happy that he because you see it like it's just okay. My homeowner's insurance, right? For this, it has we've been paying homeowners insurance for the last 2.5 years to know and have not been insured. We didn't know, right? Because our homeowners insurance they stopped insuring Texas because of the freezes that happened.
But you've been paying them?
So we have homeowners insurance with no, and it our mortgage just like kept going up a little incrementally, and like, and it's because they were just like charging us like the highest rate and putting it in like but we don't actually have a homeowner's insurance. So when people say like are so I'm supposed to be mad at Wendy because they
I
tried to
knew.
get
Okay. Yeah.
like the
Insurance is a
insurance
scam.
company, they are a scam.
Hmm.
Like
My car insurance, I don't even want to talk about it. I've been in accidents too that weren't my fault. One that was, but that was the first accident I had been in driving. If you look at my driving record, you'd be like, wow, the one time, right? But when I was hit, the fact that they fought for me and said, we're going to pay off your car and then go back and get the money from them, they still raised my insurance. And I was like, I've been paying you for years, haven't had anything. This wasn't even my fault.
yeah, it's and like we were talking about Rachel Lindsay's man,
Yeah.
a chiropractor in Miami, a scam. Both
Okay.
chiropractors, okay, with your literally they are a scheme that was set up.
Now, I'm going to say this. When I was in that accident, there was the second time somebody hit me. The first time, a cop rear-ended somebody who rear-ended me, so basically hit by a cop. The second time, I was he ran a stop sign and swiped me. I was not getting my body back. I felt in pain until I went to a chiropractor. Best I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah,
So
sure.
maybe
Could,
not Brian
could they be part of
Abasalo.
the scheme to set up the fake X-rays and the because they're not really medical, so they don't your insurance doesn't cover it, so they got to get in on the scheme too.
Chiropractors, this is not the opinion and thoughts of the Weekend Podcast. I love y'all.
So I'm just saying, like this, like moral superiority that people are trying to have
I know what
behind
you're saying. Like
Wendy
people
is
like
like
Wendy. Yeah. Do you
if
think it's
if anything, I like if you're someone with ears and you're listening, like I would be more affected by the fact that like they're trying to throw the book at these people.
well,
You believe that they should be up for 15 years in jail for and they got 25 grand?
yeah. I was
You
gonna
think that
say,
they should go to jail for 15 possible years? Like that feels okay to you?
I'll say this. Someone had said, "Oh, they they got caught because they were black." I said, "No, but being black is not gonna help them.
Right.
They got caught because it was so sloppily done and things weren't making sense."
And the
And
way the be black affects the narrative is that like people are quick to believe that when
right,
prosecution comes out, they're like, oh, you had
right.
67 credit cards, and they're like, oh my god, and it's like over their
That's
lifetime, if you think about it, like they
that's
didn't even say whether or not the credit card. They said they found 67
and that's what I
cards.
was saying.
Like,
I was sitting in that courtroom, so their counsel, and I meant to go back and look at my notes. Their counsel literally said and turned around to us that were there, the media that was there, and said they're trying to play this out. They're making these salacious claims because they know that's what's going to be picked up. And that's what was picked up, 67 claims. And they tried to intertwine it. The social media is intertwining 67 credit cards and aliases. The prosecution said that there was no link. They had to say there was no link between a Pam Oliver and an Eddie Hennessy having credit cards and loans and things in those names. But the way
but
they
racial
released,
bias plays a part in that people are
yes,
so eager to believe. You don't question it at all. Suddenly, the same ACAB ass liberal white people are now like, oh, the police are like, you now believe
say that
everything that
again. The
prosecution
ACAB,
has
say it
said.
again. Say
Right?
it again.
Like
Yeah,
now everybody wants to be a police ass nigga. Like, okay, like you just believe everything they say, and you're not because the narrative is like now you want to believe those things. They
yeah.
want to believe that like they've been a fraud forever. Then it's oh well, you know they're Nigerians, so like they're Nigerians do fraud. And I'm like, I've never heard of a Nigerian doing insurance fraud. Like we that's not even like the stereotype of the type of fraud we do if we want to talk about it. And if we're sitting here talking about fraud when Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is there, where literally the Mormon church is one of their principles is bleed the beast. Fraud is a principal part of their doctrine. Okay. So shut the fuck up. Okay. Like
I,
I'm just so annoyed
I just
by
want people
this.
to have the right, because as I'm seeing the different things come out, like when they mentioned the PayPal and this and that, I said, and the public is doing, and let me be very clear. Do I think they did it? Yes. Do I want them to go to jail? No. Only because I refer back to we have we have Eddie on a recorded line lying, right? So of course you can't dispute that or whatever. However, what I'm seeing again is information being distributed by the prosecution in such a way as to create a narrative. Never once again was it said that they had credit cards and loans and social security numbers tied to Eddie Hennessy and Pam Oliver. Never
Literally
once was
talking
it
about things like
explained.
I get packages sometimes that say fly chai all the time because they're like from things
I
like
get packages that say We Go Podcast. Yeah. I mean, I'm acting like I get so many. I've gotten, but people are more than welcome to send me.
right. Put any name you want on it.
On it. But so I got that. So it's like, this is not trying to not hold them accountable or whatever, but it is saying, let's like, if we're going to talk about the things that they did, let's also let's talk about it in a factual way. The
Right.
facts are, and with that 67 credit cards, like I said, I got to go back and look at my notebook because I can't remember if if the defense said for sure, but basically some of them may have been expired, some of them not, and they just didn't get rid of them for whatever reason. But I don't think they were walking around with
From what I saw in
67.
the notes is that they asked if they were like the defense had noted that like some of those are and then they were asked if they had confirmed that and they just said that like well they were 67 found, right?
See, but that lets you
So
know right there. Instead of
like
them confirming that
I
they were
have bought
all
stuff and like okay I did the bear. I haven't been shopping at Target. Shopped at Walmart for the first time ever on like the app, and they sent me a one card. Now that's a credit card that I have. That is
yeah.
not tied to me when you find me. Like she hasn't like it's one added to
And
me.
see how they wouldn't confirm it because they're not. But we're going to put that out there so that this is what people are focusing on. Let's
And like I never throw my cards away. Like I don't like that's another thing where I'm like, I don't even like I don't want it floating out in the world. So they're kind of just stacked up in old purses. Like so
okay, right?
if you can you would I would get hit in the same way that she had all these cards.
Right. And I
I
said now,
just move up to an old wallet. I don't know.
and they were found in a wallet.
Like I don't know. I'm like throwing away feels weird. Like putting it out there. I'm not gonna try to cut it
Yes.
up and do all of that. So I just
And that part to me, I said, if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about, okay, we can talk about, okay, things were reported as stolen. They found them in the house. Let's go down avenues that we know. Let's go down factual avenues. I really, with the reunion, it's almost like Wendy is damned if she does and damned if she doesn't, because some people want her crying, but the baby voice was an issue.
I
But
have so
then
much
some
to say
people
about
want
that.
her said that she was too flippant. So it's like, at what point, I appreciate it, even though she can't talk. Because let's be clear, I don't expect nobody to talk about a case that they're in on TV. That would be stupid. But she gave us more than Karen did. She gave us more emotional feeling and how she's feeling than Karen did. Yes, I'm scared. No, I'm not okay. Blah, blah, blah. That's Karen's was, I'm going to be vindicated.
Also, what do I don't. She doesn't owe them that. Like in terms of like, I'm supposed to sit across Ashley motherfucking Darby
Well, I was going to
and be
say,
humble and be feeling like I did something when I'm across from Ashley Darby.
come on, that's
Ashley Darby, oh, man, I'm so scared of going to jail because you're on a cast with people. You weren't scared of going to jail when you were living under that tent with whatever you and Miss Sheila had to do to try to survive. You
yeah.
weren't scared of going to jail then. You didn't weren't seeing people go in and out of jail when you lived in the tent homes. You weren't scared of going to jail when you sat up on Fox Soul next to Ash, next to your predator husband.
Come on.
Covered up and lied for him.
Come on.
You weren't scared of going to jail for any of those things. Who ain't no telling, especially when it's really telling that Ashley doesn't even have an idea of the way consent works.
Come on.
The story about Sharice's son, and she doesn't know. She low-key played him out to be a predator.
Yeah.
He said you were too drunk to drive.
Right.
So he had to drive you home.
Which means you'd be
Brought
too
you
drunk.
in the house and then made a move on you. You could not consent. So what you're saying is that man assaulted you. Okay? So you don't even have the way that your brain works. You're not even smarter to calculate. So ain't no telling how many of those threesomes y'all had with people.
Right. But yet your biggest fear is going to jail because 2 of your cast members have gone to jail. Yeah, I thought that was, I was.
Baby, you were raised by a gambling addict and a fucking alcoholic. Okay. I'm not shaming addiction, but let's say addiction, it comes with criminality. Ain't no telling how much illegal shit you've seen. You weren't scared of going to jail then?
But now you're
shut
scared.
the fuck up. Like, and that's the thing is that people want Wendy to sit across from Ashley Darby and form humility. Like, and I'm sorry, I like Wendy, so there's a bias, but
I like Wendy too.
But I'm very different than these people. Okay. Like Ashley Darby is my bitch eating crackers because she fucking sucks. She's a predator. She takes advantage of situations. She literally was married to a man who SA people, and then she conspired with Monique to hide the footage of it. That man has lost his job, his credit, and his reputation. She sat on Fox Soul and lied on him.
Yes.
That's why Ashley Darby is my bitch eating Crackers. Wendy Osefo is a lot of people's bitch eating crackers because she was proud of her degrees.
And
we're not the same. We're not the same.
And that is my thing. Going back to, Wendy thought she was too good. I don't care that she told Ashley It's doctor to people like you, sweetie. She was responding to something that there's this in the world in general. Let me tell you something. 50 Cent and T.I. and King and Damani. I could never be a housewife because we know what the name of the game is, right? And for me, I know my capabilities. And you may come at me with something small, but my reaction would probably be that of a King, a Damani, a T.I., housewives level. So to me, it was, if Wendy didn't have the 4 degrees, would people, and she wasn't proud of them, and Dr. Wendy to you, sweetie, I guess I never got the feeling that Wendy thought she was better than people. And that's just me. And that's from day one. None of that, because number one, we didn't really get to know Wendy the first season because the fight took over. Number two, her second season, it was the fallout of the fight. So, and she was engaging, so the focus came on Wendy season 3 when she had that nude interlude party in her body, right? Or was that season 2? Her second season.
That was her second season.
Yeah. Okay. Either way, we didn't get to know Wendy her first season. So she's coming in her first season, going on these trips, fresh off of having a baby. And Ashley sees her, and she apologized to Ashley for reacting for reacting that way. But people act as if other people haven't been condescending or dismissive.
And she wasn't allowed to bring her baby to the trip, who was younger than Ashley's baby and I just got back from the NICU. She wasn't allowed to bring her baby, but Ashley was. And they said, well, Ashley's a new mom. And she said, I just had my baby. And they're like, but this is Ashley's first baby.
Thank you. She's still a new mom.
So she came in a situation where she's already been positioned as like, you don't matter. Ashley's this, like, she's a new, she's so delicate. She needs to be coddled. She gets this extra exemption.
Yeah.
Right? Because she's special. And now we're going back and forth. And because I said Dr. Wendy to you, like, now it's, I deserve to go to jail. You don't give a damn that I'm going to jail.
Right. And is it based off of more, if people are principled based off of, because let's be clear, based off of you broke the law, you go to jail. I don't feel like, depending on what it is, and I'm just going to keep it real, don't necessarily think that, I don't think jails are meant for everything. I don't. There could be other punishments, right? Other consequences rather than punishments. So it's just, I really sat back over and just thought about the different Housewives seasons and then Potomac and was like, again, I like Wendy, but I can clock when Wendy, I can clock when Wendy is, I feel like, okay, Wendy, now girl, come on. Like there was a part of me that was like, oh, she made up with Giselle. However, I will say this, I never once thought she's so eager to be Giselle's friend. What I thought was this is her job. And her job is to resolve and move on. And sometimes you have to people concede to the environment that they are in. People are not saying that because we got to, it's not coincidence that Giselle went 2 seasons straight without talking to Wendy. Then all of a sudden she wants to have a sit down. So it's not just Wendy.
It's also like she scalped Giselle, right? Yes. Like, she said everything, like, do you ever, like, that can never be unsaid.
Yes.
Right? We've never heard Wendy be like, I'm so regretful that I said all those things about her.
Like we've heard Monique do.
That's the point that I was about to say, right? So the idea is like, we can move on, but I'm not begging. Because if she was really begging, she'd look, I never thought I was wrong. I should have never said those things. Like, she has never done that. We've never seen her grovel, not beg. Like,
so it's like people don't, and I know that Wendy did say on social media that there was more to that conversation, her and Giselle sit down, than what we saw, which we can believe because they're always cutting stuff out. So I never looked at it like they're begging to be their friends. This is a job at the end of the day. And they all want to keep their job, which is, again, nobody is saying, people are saying Giselle is being fake to keep her job, but Wendy's begging to be Giselle's friend. No, Wendy wants to keep her job too. Let's be clear. Right. They all want to keep it, and I don't fault them for all of them.
And that's the thing was, I even see like I fault a lot of the network and the production for that.
Yes,
for a lot of it, I'm not even faulting them. Like that is a problem. Is that if you want to stay on the show, like clearly the network is very invested in Giselle for whatever reason.
Yeah,
right. So if you want to stay on, you need to kiss the ring and And like you try to do it as much as you can with integrity, but like at the end of the
Yes.
day, they've set it up in a way that like you can't exist on this show without doing it.
Which then to me takes away authenticity. I think that's why Kay, everything just the little comments that Giselle would make at the reunion, not saying Kay had to bite back, but it was always, it's always, I see your point. I see it. I get that. She never has anything to say, but
That's
she will
why
for the
what
other
I
women.
saw when she said get Tia back, my friend Tia, she what about me? I'm still
Yeah.
your friend. It was panic of I'm gonna be I won't be on this show. It's
Yes.
like and that's
And the
like
network
production's fault
creates
for
that.
giving her, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, for giving her that level of power. Like you can't fault the women on the show for that. Like
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true. Yeah. It's I'm feeling like Potomac needs to be refreshed in a way. I didn't mind. I enjoyed last season for what it was. I'm trying to learn how to enjoy these shows for what they're giving us. Um, but I feel like there needs to be a refreshing done. And I'm going to tell you something. We haven't seen it yet. I'm just going to be very clear. People have to be careful bringing up, talking about, putting people's parents in a sentence and yours are not here. Because what will end up happening is someone is going to respond to you in a way where now people are like, that's too far.
what are you talking about?
There's a clip of Karen saying, I enjoyed your mom. I particularly enjoyed her telling you to shut the F up.
Yeah.
If Wendy were to respond, you see what I'm saying? It's like,
Can I just say I like don't even I'm anxious for this part of the reunion because I don't whatever Karen is about to try to do, I'm not interested.
come on. Yeah, that's
Even down to like when Kiarna and Wendy were having their and Kiarna was like, oh, I can't wait for Karen to get out here. Right. And
I
it's
didn't hear
like,
her, oh, I didn't hear her say that. I heard her say, we'll see what Carroll
oh,
County. I didn't hear that. But did you hear the we'll see what Carroll County says? We'll see what Carroll
yeah.
County says. I said, oh, okay.
I didn't even mind that. I didn't even mind that because to me it's like when
It's fair game. Okay, yeah.
you arrested. Like it is what it is. Like I expect people to take shot. Like my issue is that like now if she says something back, everyone's gonna be going crazy about it.
Yeah.
Because that social security number, like I heard your line about I didn't have to lay my back on my back and create two more social security numbers. If she had said that, they would have yanked her from the damn network. Like the way people are and colorism works, like, bruh, dwindling uterus is they said that Candace showed up and she snuck the abortion pill into Giselle's drink or something. Like the gratitude of what
that is insane for somebody to say that. That is
no,
insane.
I'm just being dramatic.
Oh, I see what you're saying, but that's how dramatic. Okay, I was gonna say someone said that. That's insane. Okay,
but like we're in a place where nobody even there's certain people you don't even go anywhere there with.
Yeah,
like we're talking about Giselle's dad, and I'm like, we're talking about Giselle's dad and this money. Like if it was me, I'm coming with printed everything he said about Barbara Gordon on a board. Fuck your daddy, Giselle.
somebody
like,
said,
I don't care that he's dead. Like, what? Like, I don't like. It was great that he was like the first Black House in the House of Representatives, but he also got there because proximity to whiteness.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the people who also like would have gotten it that were around in that time, they were gay, right? So you needed to be light skinned and they didn't want any gay men. So once your dad just got pushed up to the front of the line.
Well, someone did say, I was like, wow, is some of the memorabilia that she wants his letter to Barbara Jordan, and I was like. Because that gets lost. Also, the conversation has been he was married to a white woman, and this white woman is keeping all of this.
And that's what he fucking gets. Because let's talk. And this is what I'm saying is that like we're not even having real conversations about this. Like if it's her storyline, can everybody weigh in? Can we all have a conversation? How do you feel
and
that
if that bothers her,
rights leader married to a white woman and didn't set up protections for him to die, and now she owns his legacy?
And that's what I was going to say.
Pass it over to her white. Like how does that feel? Don't you think that a civil rights leader should have had more forethought, more planning? Oh. We're talking when colorism comes up. Giselle, your father said these things about Black women and dark-skinned Black women. Did he raise you to believe the same thing? What have you done? What work have you done to make sure that you aren't colorist since you say you're not? But your dad is a noted, famous
Yeah,
Let's like we have real conversations. Like
that has definitely been a conversation on social media that people have been talking about is, well, not just in general about all of that.
if we're gonna talk about his legacy financial, let's talk about his legacy.
Well, because I would want to know, even if, because we know she's not going to give us nothing, but even if she didn't get into that, I do want to know how you, as a black woman with black children, a black ex-husband that's very much involved in modern days, we can say civil rights, and has a like, how do you feel it's part of your issue, the fact that this white woman is now going to have his legacy, you know, fighting for black folks. But the other conversation that's been brought up is that a lot of the civil rights leader men, it was the reason, their reasonings behind the movement was so that they were able to legally be with white women.
I always say, like, if they really wanted, if we wanted to get galvanized black men, it's the like, you got to say they're coming for loving versus. Yeah. Okay.
Because
you got to get them activated, baby. They said you can't marry the snow bunnies. They'll hit the street.
they'll hit the. Look at Nick Cannon saying that's why a lot of them have white women, because they were told they couldn't. Look at Matthew Knowles saying he thought Tina Knowles was white.
Right.
He admits that was one of the reasons.
Like, this is why the gaslighting of the show is annoying, because it's like you cannot sit and have Giselle on a cast and have Karen on a cast and Karen talk about buying the plantation and then be like, yeah, you bought a plantation and you bought a plantation. What work have you done to remove yourself of the plantation mindset?
And right? I thought it was
how do you not believe that you are better than Wendy because you're lighter skinned?
Especially when she said Wendy didn't fit Potomac. And it's not lost on me that, you know how they say a drunk mind speaks to sober, a drunk mouth speaks to sober mind, whatever. But it wasn't lost on me that Karen referred to herself as Thomas Jefferson's concubine. That stood out to me.
No, like, nothing is by accident. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I was
there's
like,
layers to that, right?
Out of everybody.
Even in like whenever, like when the conversation of colorism comes, she's like, I'm very familiar with it because I was and then it's like, okay, but like, so you're familiar. Yeah. But what work have you done? Because remember when you talked about Raven having good character and the only thing that you said was that she was dating a white boy?
Yeah.
You were so proud of her.
Yeah. And people get upset and very touchy with the conversation of colorism about Potomac. But I don't mind having these, because whether you believe them to be or not, whether you believe certain cast members to be or not, I think these conversations are relevant to what's going on in the world, period. You know what I'm saying? So whether you believe, I mean, but to me, somebody said, let me just break it down for you. You don't believe the cast is colorist. Fine. Why is it that you can have a light-skinned woman, Ashley Darby, do and say the same things on the level of a Candace, and Candace responding, and the backlash goes to, or not even that. The responses of when they get into arguments with, I mean, Mia allegedly called Giselle's daughters out of their names, and it was hugs and this and that. Like, so even if you don't want to believe they're colorists, let's really look at the patterns and the history of the show. If it's not colorism, then something still needs to shift.
You can't have conversations of the America in the United States without and divorce it from racism the same way.
Right.
You can't have conversations about Black people and divorce it from colorism. And you definitely cannot have that conversation now when we were watching a dark-skinned Black woman go like in the justice system, and we're seeing how unnecessarily punitive and casually punitive people are being. We're talking people being like, well, she's just gonna have to go to jail for 15 years. And we talked about Teresa 1 year was like, right, because we see humanity in her, but like the way that we treat Black people,
That's very true.
Joe Judice didn't even see 15 years.
Right. He saw 5. Exactly.
Like, let's have real
Yeah.
conversations. Like, if
Because
we're
two
talking
things
about,
can be true. Two
and
things can
that's
be
and
true.
that's and we know that that's a fact, right? We know that there are studies that show that darker skinned people get longer sentences.
Yes.
That is a fact. Data supports it, right? So I can't sit on a show where we're watching people celebrate and clap for Karen because she went to jail for 6 months and now she gets to come out and be the arbiter of justice and how you should handle your case and tell Wendy what the fuck she should do when she didn't even listen to her own fucking lawyers.
That's my thing. I hope that the way they put these clips together aren't what we're going to see. Because for you to come out here, I did not hear Kiana say, I can't wait for Karen to come out, because that lets me know that you already know what's about to happen with Karen.
It was after Wendy said, I can't wait for Jazzy. Like when they said they're going to bring out Jazzy, she said, glad, because I'm tired of doing all the work. Right. And then she said, well, I can't wait for Karen to come out of here. I see and something about what she has to say to you. So like it's already a setup.
And I've seen people last year bring up Wendy saying, that's not my friend. We're forgetting Wendy said that in response to Karen. When all the ladies were shocked, even Mia and Wendy didn't always have a good relationship. And Mia said, I'm shocked that she didn't thank Wendy.
You were writing for her all year. Like, and the thing, and not saying where I'm like, this Karen is so low, like, and I'm someone who enjoys Karen. I enjoy her too. The truth. I enjoy Karen.
Even though we know she lies.
Yeah. And I give a lot of like I'm one of those people like, I think old Black people deserve dignity. I give them great. I didn't want to see that lady in jail. I didn't like seeing those videos. Like, there's just something about like, you know, the way you're raised, like you just don't want to see, for me, I just don't want to see older Black people in an undignified way. Like, and
she better stay out from underneath that wheel drinking and driving.
So it was, but like, we have to be real about it. And the fact that like the way the interview came, I was like, you know, happy for her. She's out, free her. Yes. But then the interview, I'm like, bitch, you needed to stay in there longer. Because, okay, there's something like, I don't know if you, do you watch Basketball Wives?
Yes, I do.
Okay, when British, like, did you see British's interview with Carlos?
Child, British is still a scammer. Go ahead.
But at least,
but she came out very. It was the same, but a little bit different than Karen's interview. It was more humble.
I will say, to me, when even like whether or not it's honest or real or what she's feeling, the way she
said the right thing.
Like, yes. She even made it like, well, damn, do I need to go to jail? Like all the real, like God forbid.
I was going to say cancel clear.
But the way that she talked about it, you could see, like, she talks about the first 6 months she spent it just crying.
Yes.
Right? Not even in acceptance. And then, like, you know, you start working it and realizing, like, well, I'm here, I have to take. So when you're talking, and then Karen is in 6 months, she was leading classes, talking to, like, but shut the fuck up. And let's be very honest, when she kept talking about I was an antidepressants, like, people are talking about, what she's saying is actually dangerous. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's not how antidepressants work. And already like Black, like, you know, there's a stigma of like wanting to take, like, they're not habit forming in that way so if you're going to call it antidepressant, you need to say what you were saying, exactly you were taking.
Yeah.
Right. You were not an antidepressant because you can't just keep upping that's just not how they
work. Somebody else said that. Somebody else I was talking, I don't know if it was Dr. Tam,
maybe you were
taking
Xanax.
But antidepressants, I heard don't work that way. I did hear that.
Maybe you were taking Xanax, right? But if you're taking Xanax and a doctor prescribed Xanax for you and didn't prescribe therapy, like, you were being poorly assisted. That's not how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Right. And you knew you were doing wrong because you were drinking on it. So don't blame the pills. And you started the pills after your parents died, but bitch, you had 3 alcohol-related incidents
before.
Prior.
Yes, I was gonna say somebody else brought that up. I hadn't even clocked that.
So why are you wasting our time with these conversations? Yeah. Like, and I'm like, whatever. You work through it at your time. Karen doesn't have to ever get clean. She doesn't owe me anything. Just get a driver. I don't care. Yeah. I'm not even of the, like, one of those beliefs where, like, I know old ass alcoholics that they like. I'm not even someone who is of the belief that everyone needs to get so like if you're not hard, whatever. I don't care.
But don't
Like,
come out with an air of
you know,
superiority to the
there's just
next
old
person.
people that old
Yeah.
drunk is old fine. Okay. Like
Yeah.
I'm not even, I don't care if she comes back this season and starts drinking again. But don't sell the superior like girl.
When that's what if I see that, I think I'll be enraged a little bit because it's
But you've
like, don't,
already seen it. It's
yeah, that's true.
already there.
That's true. But I mean, as far
You're
as her
asked
and Wendy,
about,
if it gets deeper, like,
yeah. But even in the, like asking, Ashley stays on Karen's neck.
yeah, she does.
He shows the like plays the and you say, well, yeah, Ashley was not wrong, but Wendy, no one told her that she was
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
like
yeah.
the shade was for Wendy who didn't even want to say the thing.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what, like I said, two things can be true. You can feel how you want to feel about these housewives, about Wendy, but Wendy is to me no different than other house. Like that's what, if I came on with 4 degrees, I would be letting y'all know too. And for Wendy also, and let me know
Like
if I'm
when
wrong, but
Giselle wouldn't shut the fuck up about her green eyes because she understands the currency that light skin and green eyes gives her, so she would not stop talking about it because it is a currency. So she bragged about it.
and Wendy, to me, tell me in the Nigerian community, that's status for her, right? Her education. So that's how, right? Is that
It's also like, and the thing that I think is so funny about the way people see Wendy so like wrong. Another point I wanted to make is like people talking about her crime and stuff. Like the way that they did this proves that like these are not criminally minded people.
well, there's a point. Right, right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so the idea that like you are watching,
Like they have a criminal history.
watching what's going on, and you think that these people are day one have never not like. And again, I know the literacy crisis is taking us through there. Like it's issue, but like when you're here reading these things about, oh, she returned, like they claim things that were returned in 2019, and you're like, they've been doing fraud since 2019, or and it's like
no, she returned it in
issues.
2019. The fraud was 2023. Yeah.
We're all still talking about one incident and like
yes, yes, right. But see, that goes to the media, like you said, comprehension. It wasn't. Let's talk about it in factual ways. They have items from 20, whatever, whatever, whatever. Let's keep it on that. Like I said, I appreciate her being. When Giselle asked her, "Are you okay?" and she said, "No, I'm not okay," because if she had said, "I'm okay," then it would have been, "Girl, you know you're not okay."
It's also, I'm worried for Wendy just because like being Nigerian, like not even being Igbo specifically, I know what people want.
I've been saying it wrong. I've been saying Igbo. Igbo. What did I say? Igbo.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, the G is like silent.
But I've been thinking about it as an I, but it's an E, like EBO,
No,
right?
It's IGBO is how it's spelled, but it's spelled Igbo, like you spell
Okay.
like EBO.
I'm back.
Like,
okay.
But for the culture, like okay, if you know about Black American history, like the slaves that threw themselves into the water because they'd rather
yes.
die than be captured, those are Igbo people, right? That is in our genes. I remember the first time my dad ever like really gave me a like when Saddam Hussein was captured, and the first time I remember my dad just being like feeling like, and my dad being like, I can't believe he let them put him on trial.
Oh, right? Meaning he should have just taken himself out.
Yeah, like this, like I'm not about to do this. Like, you can't judge me. You got a flawed system anyway. Like, you're not like that's not.
Oh, so you're worried? Okay, got
right.
You.
Like it's very antithetical to our culture, right? You are always supposed to keep your head up high, right? Like, your humility is for nobody but God, and that's the thing that people don't like understand in us is that like. Why I need to show up humble because I did a little fraud.
Got you. Okay.
Is Kyle Richard gets to parade money all over the place, but Mauricio stole money from Africa. I'm gonna keep saying it. And then Mauricio used the excuse in court that, well, the African, he stole money from the Africans, so I just stole his money. Okay. But somehow her money, she gets to parade that and have pride with that, but Wendy's supposed to hold her head held down.
Okay.
Corey, like I just you're not gonna get that you're not
You're not going to get it from her.
because
Okay.
it's not who like even when I saw me as someone like I was lived most of my life here, I saw her and like when she started to I'm like, go pick that shit up. Like
Oh,
even
okay.
in my
Okay.
head, I was like, you don't give them that. Like
Okay.
you don't
Gotcha.
give them you don't owe them that. Like nobody on that stage has a heaven or hell to put you in, and they don't have a court that they can put you in. Okay. Like
Okay.
who there do you need to be feeling
Right.
a way about? Who?
Okay. So that
Can't
makes
anyone on
this is
there.
why she is carrying it the way it
Like that's how
because
you're
it's
supposed
something
to hold it.
that's been
Like,
instilled in her.
yeah, that's how you're supposed to hold it. Like you're not like you're I'm gonna show up to court my best every time, right?
Child,
Like
well, she sure do. Child, now, child, the first stole. I said, baby,
and this is where I'm saying that like I feel bad.
but you understood it. You
And
understood
I
it.
already even feel bad for like Nigerians in general who like are in like get find themselves in like the justice system because you're just not gonna fare well. And honestly, in the
Oh,
public
okay.
eye in general, right? Finding Igbo people, like you will always be seen as too proud. Like it'll always upset.
Like you did this, so you need to humble yourself and just
Yeah,
be
even if you
ashamed. Be
hadn't done it
ashamed.
yet, right? You like Wendy, people were never going to be prime to Wendy's. Like people don't want like to see dark skinned women who are happy with themselves, right? Like you always like it's the same way like only slave movies get awards, right? There's a certain type of the way that they want you to show up,
You know
right?
what?
And people were never going to show up in that way that like society expects people who look like us to show up in.
I was listening to shout out to my girl, the Brooke Ashley. This was literally on the live yesterday, I think. And she found out at a young age about the colorism of it all. She had a friend that was biracial in school.
I'm listening. Sorry, I'm just
Okay.
plugging in my laptop.
So Brooke was saying how she found out about colorism at a young age. She had a friend who was biracial. And she said she was well, I'm sorry, she was not her friend. She said she used to be mean to Brooke, like nice to other people, but mean to Brooke, and Brooke couldn't figure out why. So Brooke invited her over to her house. You're talking elementary school, I think she said, either elementary or middle, but I think those of you that watched, you know. This was literally last night, and she said the girl was mean to her. So she invited her over to her house, thinking, and you know, Brooke grew up in Jack and Jill, so the home was clearly, and I'm saying clearly beautiful because of what I'm about to say. She said when the girl got there, the girl said, "Oh wow, your house is really nice. You're dark skinned. I thought you'd be poor."
I grew up with that, hearing that all the time.
And she said her mom was like, "What?" And like called the parents and called them out, like, "What are you teaching her?" And the crazy part is, the girl's situation was kind of that way. But because Brooke was dark skinned, the girl literally said to her, "You're dark skinned. I thought you would be poor." And I was like,
So you see if that girl
wow.
grows up, right, and is an Ashley Darby per se, right? Like, and is now on a cast with
Not
dark skinned women who have things she doesn't have. When the expectation that colorism builds is that you should have better things than me. It's
yes.
just that's the expectation. It's like when a white person finds out you're doing better than them, girl, they're about to burn everything down.
I've just seen the plane, like they've been literally asking people, "Can my child have your seat by the window that you paid extra for because they want to look out the window?" Are you insane? I've,
So,
I've
and this is
literally been seeing this on TikTok recently.
and I always make this example to my husband because it's like he feel like he knows it and feels it like of everyone knows like black people, you know that feeling of when you are doing better than a white person, you have something they don't have, or what the way that vitriol, they're about to like they'll like you know what's about to come,
Yes.
right? Okay, Black Wall Street, they burnt it down.
Yes.
Like historically, this I'm not just good, but this is what they do, right? So we know that dynamic exists. I don't understand how people are so apt to want to deny the colorism of, but when you know that it's like light-skinned people who've been told that, and I'm not saying that they've been told, they're telling us, right? Giselle has constantly brought up her her eye color or this. So she understands the social currency, the light skin and green eyes. Hey, you can't tell me she doesn't understand that because she brags about it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
You know, I
So
said that. I said that she does that about her looks. So how is that different than Wendy about her degree? And somebody commented, she does not talk about her looks. And I'm like, maybe I missed something. So I'm glad you're, because I'm like, I know I'm not crazy. And I'm not even saying it's a bad thing, whatever. But what I'm saying
this
is I
face
know what
will
I've
never
heard.
fade,
Yeah.
right? And like even the idea that this face will never fade is like that is just I will always have light skin and green eyes because it is fading. Like you're getting old, the ring, and you're not even doing any upkeep in trying to. So, what is it that you're saying will never fade? Do you ever say like she
Child,
more
and
than
Nicki Minaj.
anybody overvalues light skin and green eyes to the point where she's not even trying to do anything else?
Well, what did Wendy say? She's a victim of pretty girl privilege. And all she said, because she doesn't have to dress, and she said,
Yeah.
"Oh, I am." It was like, okay, yeah,
So, like, for people to understand, like, when it's how white people react, it, you don't think that like these light skinned women who have been told that like within the black community they have been handed the keys to the kingdom, right?
Mhm.
Ashley knows that like while she ain't shit in the white community, right? The biracialness and that desirability gives her some value within the black community, right? She
Yeah,
has a softer texture. She knows that. So for her, she enters a pageant with no money, no talent, no skill, no nothing. But it's like I'm just light skinned. While we have like Candace, who's a career pageant person, who's invested all of this, and she knows that they can stand toe to toe on the scene because all she has to do is be light skinned.
right, yeah,
So she understands the currency. So then don't tell me that like if that person who understands now is confronted with a person who has all the shit that they've been promised, right? Wendy, say whatever you want to say. Eddie's good looking. He's exactly Giselle's type, and he loves Wendy,
yeah,
right? Giselle can't boast of that, and that's what you've been promised. I'm supposed to have the better life than you. I'm light skinned.
yeah. And I always go back to her and Robin's podcast when they had Carlos King on, and he said, "What do you think made Potomac take off?" And she said the world had never seen light skinned, green eyed women that were successful. Those were her words. So to me, it's like, again, whether people want to believe it or not, it's in the like you said, they know that there is a. Robin even said on that same podcast, she felt that it was that they needed more. She was excited when Monique came because she wanted more brown women on the cast. Robin
Maybe
said
and
that.
Monique
So
has green eyes too. Like
right.
that's the
Because
depth of the
Giselle made a comment
diversity we're
about
trying
it.
to get to.
Giselle said to her, because
That Giselle
Giselle
accused
seemed,
her of being contact, and that is the
yes,
beef. People talk a lot about it,
yes.
but it's like the green eyes thing
Like
is the big
people
part
didn't
of their
clock
beef.
that. She said, I want to pluck those green eyes out of, I mean, those green contacts out of her head, which Giselle said when Giselle was saying, remember when Giselle said to Karen years ago, congratulations, Karen, your Geritol kicked in. I wanted to say, Giselle, you didn't take your Geritol or you're rewriting history. Me and Monique could have been friends. I have never been a Monique fan. However, I can say Monique came in not even begging to be her friend, but wanting to, hey, I want to get to know you. Like, hey, put my number in your phone. You're telling me to put like Monique came in genuine, I think, with Giselle. And you know what? Maybe it wasn't genuine and Giselle sensed it, but she never had that conversation with Monique. She kind of just played her to the left. So when Giselle is saying me and Monique could have been friends, to me, it reminds me of Beverly Hills, how they're trying to position all
Right.
the ladies are in such a better place, with the undercurrent being Garcella's
Like,
in here.
right.
It's the same with Potomac. The ladies are in a
Candace
place,
made Monique bring the binder. Okay.
boom,
And
like,
even Candace, Monique is making, and this is the thing is like
yes,
you're cringing at it, but you brought the binder
but
because
you
you know
brought
that's all
it.
you have. And like, so girl, what are you even saying? And I find Monique to be a truly humiliating person. Like I get embarrassed by her presence. Like I don't like to see, I'm sorry, I don't like to see her. And even in this reunion, like when she's like cringing at, and it's like, girl, this bitch questioned the paternity
Come
of
on.
your child. You're looking like a loser on every level. Like, girl,
Your
what?
husband, your
And you sat
ex-husband,
up there and you felt so bad when you saw Gracie. And it's like, well,
that's
has Giselle apologized to to the kids that she was trying to say that were not your husband. And then Ashley Darby brings you on this show and is talking about, well, things could go left. She is
Come on.
actively trying to get you to put hands on Stacy. The shit that you say you have to do all this to heal from. Bitch, you have to go touch the motherfucking pyramids to try to get back from the fact that you beat Candace's ass. And this bitch brought you on here to do it again and keeps trying to rile you up to do it again.
I said, I would rather Monique come on here and say, I miss being here in interviews. I wanted to check. I mean, I'm saying you can see the different conversation in interviews. She did an interview. Me and Candace were never close.
Show.
Me and Candace were never close. Then she did an interview saying that's why it hurt because Candace was her friend. She just did an interview saying now I can exist in a space with her and we can be cordial. So I'm like, I just wish Monique would be her authentic self and let people decide, because at the end of the day, you're never going to be able to please the audience. Nobody is, whether you're a content creator, whether you're on TV, whether you're a producer, as long as you stay true to yourself, the people that mess with you, mess with you.
There is no self to be true to. Monique is full of shit. Like, I'm sorry, like it's, and I've always felt this way from her. Even
well,
like,
you know how we've talked about that because
I wasn't even a mom, and I already that not for lazy mom shit rubbed me so fucking the wrong way, and I wasn't even a mom yet because I understood the idea of that, like, you can teach whatever, but it's everything about Monique needs to be positioning someone as like the antithesis, and that's wrong.
Yes.
That's like, I used to do this when I thought that, like, it's even now, it's like now that you're not married, everyone's marriage is bad. Like she can't, like, girl, like she cannot just sit in a moment and just be like, hey, like, even right now, I honestly made the wrong decision not getting alimony from Chris. Life is expensive. Now I gotta hustle and come on this show and try, but instead it's like
she could have made a T-shirt
to that man, and
she could have made a T-shirt that said this little check. Because remember when she said not this little check, she could have made like anything. Like Monique, kind of laugh at yourself a little bit, just a little bit.
She can't. And that's just what sucks about her, because it's like, okay, well, like, I don't know what to do with this.
I mean, since season 3, I have never been. The only time I really kind of saw it for her was when her and Candace linked up, and I thought, yes, them two gonna link up and give it to Ashley. And
even then, I didn't like it when they linked up, because Monique was always like, I don't like when I can see how easily manipulated, like that you're so easily manipulated.
Well, somebody brought up the scene. Do you remember when they all went somewhere and she was trying to tell them, I told Candace basically to be quiet, not say anything, and they showed the flashback, and she was actually telling Candace to get in their face like this, and Ashley was like, that's not what you did. This is what you did. And I always go back to the beginning of season 5. Y'all set Candace up to be ambushed, and we know it because the screen went black, and Candace called you out on it, and you said, girl, I had to. I'll call you later. Like, I don't understand. Again, you can dislike Candace, but you could say, hey, that was a setup. There's plenty of ways I've disliked Monique, but I could also say when Giselle sat in her face and said, I by no means want to be near you. It's like, girl, y'all are not about to put on her, she's the downfall of Black women because she got into a fight, because the fight wasn't even a big deal. To me, it was the who and the why, not like right. To me. So I didn't like when they tried to play her like she was a representative for all. Like, nah, we're not going to do that. But
but that's so, also, I didn't care about that, because I'm like, oh, that's what you get, because you wanted to,
because like, you wanted their approval.
You allowed them to rile you up against somebody who was actually your friend. Like,
that's the crazy thing to me.
Dumb. I'm sorry. Like, when, like, she's the type of like dumb to me. Like, I don't know. Okay, I realize that like there's times when like someone being dumb can be dangerous. Like, I can't be your friend because you can't hold up your part of the bargain. Like, yeah. I can't trust you to, girl, you might get in that room and like, if they're jumping me, they can easily flip you. Like, you don't have any like discernment.
Right. Oh no.
Am I frozen?
Yeah, you frozen a little bit. I'm going to use it. There you go.
So even like with the Stacy of it all, like, girl, you said these things on camera. Chris was going to hear it.
Well, that. Okay, thank you. Because I've been thinking about
that you got to cease and desist afterwards. Like when it showed up on camera, you was going to get this cease and desist.
I was going to say, if she did film with the kids, there was a chance he was going to see it anyway. So who cares? Now, maybe she could say, hey, I would rather her position is like, girl, look, I'm coming back into the fold. Yes, Chris is going to see what's happening, but I thought we was kind of like a little girlhood thing. So I don't expect the things that I talk about here, even if they make camera, for you to run back and tell him, because I think that's weird if y'all don't talk like that. She could have, because I would be with her on that. Like, girl, you saying you don't talk. Why would you run that back? But if it like, I believe they lying anyway. I believe
it all like because even as it's happening, like every Kiana's barking over, and
girl.
it's like, girl, like, why did you start calling people after? And then the people you
And
call,
who told her to call Cookie?
and that's what, because literally you and Karen, your little pup, met like, and that's the thing. Another thing I don't like Kiana is that she's very immature in that. Like,
That
we're
yes.
already like, you're the type of person who will sit on the phone with someone like Cookie because you don't have shit else to do and be doing this, even though like she be lying. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
type of gossipy, like busybody, like the way that conversation when Cookie
It
was there,
was
and they were talking about Stacy, and she was like, "With that fucking that shit was unbecoming as fuck."
that's it was like, and somebody was like, oh, y'all clutching y'all pearls, but y'all don't care about Candace to use the others. It was because it came out of nowhere. It wasn't
and
like
it
Stacey
just
was
gave
provoking.
loser behavior. Like even when
Yes.
they asked her about her titty, she's like, "That's what Wendy was trying to get, but she ain't quite get there."
Like
And
she
it's
is
like,
not
why
trying
are
to
we
get
talking about Wendy? Like
right.
you're pressed, and it's embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. So like for Monique to like like you knew that this was not a thing that you needed to try to push. Stacey already did more than enough by showing you her phone. I wouldn't even
Yes.
do that. I
Like,
would, because girl, I
don't
didn't
let
know you
these ladies,
before.
it's like these ladies are baiting you in to be team whatever, whatever, instead of making up your own mind. Unless she comes with concrete evidence, it's like, and then even still,
And I don't owe you the guest book to my pussy like that. I don't know you. So like, and I'm not talking to him now, and I didn't know you before. So even if I did, I'm not coming on TV to open the guest book to my pussy
right,
when I'm
right.
back with my husband now. Like,
And that's just that.
what are we doing here?
I'm
And you don't
over.
feel a way about the Ashley, like, again, the things that Ashley's telling you she's doing is for you to come up to my ex and ask him if
Girl,
you're doing dick management on my ex.
yes,
That's weird,
that's crazy. Did
inappropriate,
you sleep? And
crazy.
he just took a drink. Girl,
Oh,
he didn't want to answer.
oh, you fucking stay. I don't even think that happened at all. I think that was. I
That's,
don't even know. I don't know if
Stacey's, I mean, Ashley's not a reliable narrator to me. When you think about what she said about Jackson, she upped it from a kiss, right? To she admitted at the reunion that she basically embellished, which lets us know that she's admitting to lying for the story. But two things she has said.
embellish is crazy. You created a whole. Oh, I thought she saw me on the ring cameras.
Well, right, right. But then on top of that, you have said this, and Giselle on her podcast has said, Sharice always called you daughter-in-law, daughter-in-law. Will you be my daughter-in-law, daughter-in-law, daughter-in-law? Then why did you think you've also, the next thing out of your mouth is, I was shocked at her, like now she's trying to paint the narrative. I'm upset at Sharice's post interviews because I expected her to flip a table or something. Then you say in another interview, I said it to get Sharice back I revealed it to get her back on the show. So if Sharice, in fact, is calling you her daughter-in-law, then why would you automatically think she would flip a table unless y'all had a conversation about it? Because now you've admitted to bringing it up solely to get
And
Sharice
I
back
don't
on the
even
show.
trust Sharice is even upset either. Like, so I
No,
don't
no,
know.
but that's
Like,
what I'm saying. Like, to me, this gives y'all all planned it out, and Sharice just didn't follow through with her
well, I feel
upsetness
like she followed through until and did her little hand, like
until
whatever,
the audience.
until the audience told her,
No, no, no. But
girl.
I'm saying, I think for Ashley to say, I did this to get Sharice back on the show, and then to turn around and say, I thought she was going to flip a table. Why would you think Sharice is going to flip a table unless y'all had a conversation? Yo, I'm going to bring this up on camera, react a certain way, and then Sharice gets there and don't react that way because now Sharice got her own game. Because why would you say, she's saying three different things. You're saying, I brought it up to help you get your job back. She always calls me daughter-in-law. Chai, if you always called me your
I think the
daughter-in-law,
brought it up to get her job back thing is a last Like that's like new.
So
Like
you think
because
that she
now
just made
she's
that
even in
up?
the circuit where she's trying to beef it up to like. Because I think like um them Sherry Shepherd interviewing her, like I think that broke the matrix a little bit.
Yeah, a tad. It was like this is a bridge too far.
So, and I feel like it opened the floodgates. Ashley Darby, every time I open YouTube, she's sitting on somebody's couch.
And for somebody who did not, we've never seen Ashley on podcasts.
Ashley
We've seen her on
famously says, I don't do all the podcasts. I say what I
Yes.
have to say for the reunion. Then y'all film the reunion and you're like, oh, I didn't say enough. Because even when I tried to say the read, I got off on Wendy with the you vilify, and the word you meant was weaponized. So you didn't get that shit off. So then she was like, okay, well, I said I saved everything for the reunion and I didn't do it. So now I got to do all this.
I'm seeing her on podcasts and I'm like, she does those?
And then it's like they don't have nothing to talk to her about because she was on Nick Vial's podcast, and I don't even know, but I know Nick Vial likes to talk about himself a lot and interject himself and his wife shit. So why was that podcast only 24 minutes long?
Well, I'm gonna ask her when I see her on Sunday.
Oh my God, you're going.
I'm gonna ask her. I'm probably if I will say this one thing I'll give her. She may get upset, but I bet you she'll answer the questions.
Yeah.
Because I got some real questions. Like, I got some real questions.
Can you ask her or more a declarative statement?
Okay.
Tell her that little Jim Crow and little Jim and Crow over there are not allowed to ever say the N word. And I'm going to be checking up on it.
Hold up. I just... Not at all. And I got a conversation to have with Candace. Why your husband? And I know we don't control our men. Matter of fact, the conversation ain't even for Candace. It's for Chris. Why would you get online, speaking of the N-word, and say Candace taught him that and he said it to me? What it always falls back. You could sneeze.
It's also like almost where I'm like, is this deliberate? Like, does he always tweet like and it's just because she's on Traders now that like the attention? Like,
I feel like he don't always tweet like that.
And I feel like it's like now that she's having this
in Black History Month,
she's having this great moment. Like, why can't you just like chill?
Yeah, like why would you say that? That is a definite kitchen conversation. That's an island conversation, not even a whole kitchen.
And I just was so like, I'm like, why are you doing this to her right now?
He's like, come on, Chris, for real. Like,
but the thing is that I at least trust Candace to tell him about himself.
Oh, I do. One thing we know, she definitely.
You know what
got
I mean? Whereas I know that Ashley Darby was over there letting Michael call her mama all types of monkey.
Come on.
I just know it. I'm sorry.
All types of stuff. We've heard a different accent from Ashley. I said I should ask her about that. What do you think about the audience? Some of the audience saying they detect a black accent.
Oh, now she
sis.
I'm just trying to turn up. She said he's turning 5, and she said, and I'm just over here trying to turn up. Like I just feel so, girl. Oh God, and even trying with the outfits now, and I'm like,
girl. What's going to happen is the way it works with me is I'm going to meet her on Sunday and be like, y'all, psych, no. but then here's this. We know that all these women, we know that it's not all real life, right? We know that, yes, they have to create story and they create these personalities. I don't like to hear that a person is completely different in real life than online, because that means I'm not even getting a piece of who you are. So if you can tell me, oh, they're totally nothing like what we see, I would like to think that I'm getting at least a piece of your personality. If you are totally different, then...
can I say something about that with Ashley, in terms of Ashley Darby? I think that what people are reading in Ashley Darby is like, I understand, obviously, like you're playing it up for the show and that's your personality, but like where you draw from when you're trying to is still indicative of who you are, and the choices that you're making are still indicative of who you are.
Now that's a good point.
Like, of course, when people meet Ashley, they are like I'm sure she's really charming. Like
Right.
most people who sell pussy are like that's like part of the
Shy.
but do you get what it's like meeting a stripper and be like she was so fun to chat with and it's like yeah it's a like it's a muscle that you work like she's had the skill set of course she's nice like it's part of her job you know what I mean like she's someone who's had to be at the mercy of men for a long like she's going
Well,
to be charming
you are right. Yes, because that's just and that's how she operates. That's how she operates through life.
she like you know what I mean when people are like oh when Age was like she was a bottle grab like yeah bottle like
That
her
makes
life has
sense.
had to be
Yeah.
like she's a vibe she's gonna give you the vibe
Right. Because
you
even
know
Candace has said,
they're like she's fun yeah
yes,
you know what I mean
yes.
she's fun like she like not with Hugh Hefner she had to be the Holly Madison that like she had to
Yeah.
provide the quaaludes and do the talk the chat to get the girls it like
Right.
you know,
That's
yeah.
yeah.
Like I'm sure Ashley Darby is a hoot every time you meet her. I'm sure
Yeah.
every time you meet her, she's amazing. I'm sure every time you meet PK, he's so fun. So
Right.
he's
Right.
a fucking scammer. He's a gambling addict. He need like you,
Yeah.
that part of that is like you gotta be good at
You gotta be good.
selling.
Right. 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 That's yeah, that's true. That's true. Because that's again how they move through life. Yeah.
So like it doesn't
I will
suck for me
report back.
when people are like, oh, like Ashley was so like so great when you met her, and be like, and or even when they're like Wendy was standoffish, and it's like, yeah, because
Yeah.
the world doesn't the world doesn't open up for Wendy the same way that it opens up for a big girl.
And part
So
of
she's
that
going
could
to
be a
present
defense.
differently.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
prefer like you like that's always gonna like yeah like
Yeah. Yeah.
you're meeting someone and be like they're so nice. And it's like yeah Jeffrey Dahmer baby he was so nice to them gay black men before he chopped them the fuck up
Isn't
like, oh.
is Jeffrey Dahmer the one that was in jail at the same time as Life and Life Jennings said he used to sing to him?
Oh I don't know I don't know that
I'm pretty
story
sure. Hold on, we're gonna look at it. I am pretty. You saying that it just took me back. I am pretty
but it's
sure.
like most predator like people being like they were nice when they met them I hate that people use that as a justification for something when I'm like
Well,
yeah like most predators
even
stellar
with
when you meet them that's how they get you
even with celebrities though, when people talk about Ellen DeGeneres and other celebrities say, "But she's so nice to me," of course she's nice to you. That doesn't because you're a celebrity. Life Jennings and what was his name? Jeffrey Dahmer.
mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was one of them he was in jail with. Life Jennings was locked up with Jeffrey Dahmer. Life Jennings talks being incarcerated with Jeffrey Dahmer. Yes. The
Interesting.
man who met Jeffrey Dahmer. Life Jennings reveals he once sang for Jeffrey Dahmer in prison. I
Interesting.
knew I had, yeah. Life. And I'm going to say this. Somebody made a comment. I was talking about the Wendy of it all. And I will say, they were talking about how, because I've said before, I can see when you think, you know, it goes both ways because people say, yeah, you're thinking about your kids, but you weren't thinking about your kids when you were in the middle of this because you were trying to keep up appearances. I feel like it's all of it. You see yourself in this debt. You want to keep this job that's making money for your kids. Also, you want to pay your bills. So you're kind of thinking about all of it and you get swept up in this, right? Because let's be clear, you get swept up and a debt upon debt. We've seen it happen. But somebody said, but then again, I'm taking back my point. Never
I
mind.
don't even think it was
I'm not even
about
gonna
like
say
the
it.
debt and all of it.
You don't think it was the debt? You think it was
I
keeping
mean,
up? I
what?
think it
No,
was all
so
of it.
I think it more so was like, like there's been so many changes to like homeowners insurance and what's going to be changed. And I think like, again, UCPK, dude, like, because
You
all
don't
of
think they
them
needed
have
that money?
robberies at certain times when it's convenient, right? And you think I've been paying my homeowners insurance for 20 years or 10 years they've been in the house. You've been paying homeowners insurance. You never claim shit. And next year they're changing the rules so you won't be able to change and they're doing
You know what?
so like I think that like and I honestly just feel like I don't know that it was that because again, they weren't going to get this like even if they got everything that they wanted out of it and that they tried to claim.
It would still be almost $500,000.
Yeah.
So if they have debt, we ain't talking about student loans. We don't count them
And this is
anymore.
the thing is like when
I
people
don't
say
count
their
them.
debt is and it's their student loans, I'm like, ain't nobody doing fucking fraud to pay student loans. I'm
Like I'm
sorry, like
not.
that's
Yeah, I
like,
don't. I don't count
and
them.
that's it. So I'm like, when people talk about their debt, like I don't know that like how much. And it's also when white people say substantial debt, that's different than like what
Yeah.
substantial debt is very different if you come from generations of your generations have all lived in this country, right?
Yeah.
Immigrants, what's substantial debt for us is going to be very different, right? So
Mm.
using these words like you can show me a number. If you told me they were $1 million in debt, I wouldn't even blink. That's not enough to make you do fraud because I know every doctor,
Really?
Nigerian doctor, I know, like,
Oh, okay.
do you get
Because
what
of
I'm
this.
saying? Like,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
act like they for you to get those degrees and to get there, like, no,
But
nobody gives black people business loans. Let's be so fucking for real.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
talk about access to opportunity
But
for
I'm
real.
saying if they're
So
if they're
yeah,
thinking about getting the money to pay bills, student loans was the least of it. I'm
yeah,
thinking regular every day because we don't know. Like they say, Eddie's business is doing well, but sometimes people do put up smoke and mirrors. So when you're
yeah.
you're thinking if you have a certain lifestyle that you have to keep up. Lisa Renner just said she almost went bankrupt for outfits on the show.
No, I do believe that they were like over spending, and this is what I'm saying. It's like I more so feel like it was like, man, everybody's doing it. Like I that's how people get it. I've just seen people get into that phase. Like I know somebody who like went to jail for fraud, and it was truly
How
like
long did they go?
only a year, but they lost their license forever and could never be a pharmacist again. So but again, and like
Anywhere?
never. And you worked your whole life
Wow.
for that. But the problem is, I remember having the conversation like, they are like everyone does. Like once you get
Oh,
into
okay.
they saw it, it's like everyone does it, and you're just like, I
As
never like,
normal. Yes, when you're yeah, yeah,
and you've
yeah.
been like, I haven't done it, I never done it even one, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
everyone's getting away with it. It
So let me
feels
try it this
like,
once.
and you're
Yeah.
not criminally minded, so you don't know to use Teddy's husband's security agency that also got Pop Smoke killed, and it's just not like you don't know to do those things, right? Because it's like, and you just get caught up because you're not, like the girl that I know that went to jail for, she's not that like, and I'm telling you, like you would be like, girl, like everything you lost all your like,
Wow.
but I just saw she. It's because you're seeing invoicing, you're seeing the way Medicaid is doing fraud, you're seeing the way people are doing, you're
Mm.
seeing, you're seeing, and you're like,
Everybody's doing it.
opportunities come to her to like a kickback for a couple of bills,
But that's
and
what your dad said. The more money you make, you get put in
that
positions.
I thought about her too when that happened. I was like, yeah, like you
Wow.
see, like you know, especially if you're a nosy person. I'm a nosy person, so I see people doing fraud. They don't know that I know they do fraud, but it's because I'm nosy. I'm no you I like the dots don't like I'm nosy. So
Yeah.
you start to see you're like, well, how's that person getting away with it?
Wow.
I don't think like even when they were like, never did I think that we were gonna because I see how they thought what they were doing was everybody does it. I truly believe that like
Mm-mm-mm.
that's why you're sending emails thinking like everybody's gonna
Well, that
like,
that would at least explain that because outside of that, what could you be thinking?
my thing is like even with that I know I feel so like because I would never ever like people keep making fun of Eddie because he was and I'm like yeah that's I would never do crime with my husband because he was sending an email
Somebody else said the same thing.
like he would like everyone I haven't said shit about that when people say it I'm because my husband would do that
In
like,
my mind, I was like, if I send a text like that, it would be like, oh, don't forget to finish filling out the insurance form. But not because I wouldn't be committing. You know what I'm saying?
and
Like,
I'm someone who like Eddie reminds me a lot of my husband and I can very much see my husband doing that like I know that like when you aren't someone who is like
criminal
dishonest
minded. Yeah.
like even just like my husband's not he's not dishonest like I even
Oh, he's
like
not dishonest. Yeah.
like even when there's times like we need to lie about something I have to do it like you know there's like I
Yeah.
know that like please don't act like and I'm like just
And don't go
say
too far.
nothing
Just say X, Y, and Z. Don't get
because
into an
he's
explanation.
not good like I just know that
Yes.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
I would end up with a mugshot if I tried to do any type of like
My
I
God,
just know
he be
that.
right there to pick you up though. That's
And that's
funny.
where I'm more mad about it is like, girl, like, why would you let him run point on this? Like,
Okay, so let me ask you this, and then I'll let you. I think this is gonna be two parts. Let me ask you this. What time we start? 4? Oh, yeah, this is our normal, and so it don't matter. There's been discussions who you think, if there was a person that was spearheading it, who do you think it was? I thought Eddie, maybe he came up with the idea and Wendy followed. And then I talked to people and they said after watching the beginning of the reunion part one, the sit down with them, they feel like Wendy presented the idea and Eddie went along with it. Do you think, or do you think somebody presented the idea to them and
I
then,
think it doesn't even matter. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
I like we see there's some couples where like you could be like, okay, but they see like friends. Like if it was my marriage and one of like it wouldn't have mattered who suggested it. Do you get what I'm saying? Because like
Well,
we
unless you're
both would have had
planning
to be
on,
on the same page for us to have done it.
right,
Period.
but unless you're planning on when you see how serious it is, trying to backdoor your partner,
I'm gonna say
you
the
don't
way that
think
I
that,
feel about it. I don't the way that I feel about it. Whether it was Eddie, like if there's an opportunity to take the like Eddie has to do it. Like that's
oh,
just
okay. So you're
that.
saying if there's an opportunity for somebody to take the weight of it, you feel like Eddie should.
Yeah, and there's no question on that. Like I don't understand what's the point of being married to a man and we both going to jail. If like it just isn't culturally. Like I just don't even see
Okay.
like do you know what I mean? Like how would he able to hang out with his friends?
Oh, I see what you're
And when
saying,
he's
knowing
staying
that
in
you're
the jail, so
when
like
your
it
wife is
just
in jail. Okay.
like
Eddie seemed, from what I saw, he seemed so like when he cried, I was like, wow, like I felt like that was a real
yeah.
emotion. Again, I don't know them, but I could, if culturally that is what you're taught, the man this, that, I can see him saying, I'll do it if
I
they
mean, I
can.
think that's also even in just like if you want to be like I hate talking about marriage in this sense, but like if we're married, you said vows, right? There's this idea of like what it is to be a man and what it is to be. And if we're talking about protect and provide, this all falls on you. And if there's an opportunity, you need to
You
like
need to take it. I did. Did you make anything of this? And you may not have, but of them saying, do you think this will affect our marriage? I, that kind of made me go, because if we're Bonnie and Clyde in this, if we're innocent together. If we're guilty, we're still riding it together. So I kind of felt like I wonder where that came from.
do you know what I think that was? I fully read it as we're trying to film a scene.
So you think all of it was
Not
that?
all of it, but that question to me was like producers being like, so what are we supposed to like and talk about whether or not it's gonna how it'll affect your
How
marriage?
it'll impact your marriage? Mm.
Like, do you because we for what we see of the again, I don't know these people, but we're not seeing a marriage that seems divided in any way, or like do you get like I just don't see how like he abandoned his family for you. Like, what's a little jail? Like, do you like do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't
Yeah.
see that, and I just it feels very like if I felt like not even a question that somebody would ask genuinely in a
Well, that's why it made me raise a brow because I don't think that would be a question I would
it
ask.
gave
Now,
producer question because even when I hear conversations of people talking about it, the only people who I hear like that feel like a specific way about it are people who are like unmarried. Do you
mm,
get me? Like when you're talking about the idea of a marriage
yeah, because
versus because it's like we both did this crime, okay?
yes,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. We both did it, and we're either gonna be in it. Either we both did it, or we both didn't. Either way, we're riding together.
and
So that
also our
question
marriage
just
ain't the
seemed
prime, or it just is not like it was like okay, we can't. What are we gonna talk about when we film
because you
this scene?
can't talk about the
We can't
case,
have. And we can't even have the conversation I want to have, obviously on camera, about how like, damn, we was dumb as fuck. We should have done
right?
this. Like, we can't have the conversation. So now, like, everything they were saying gave like, if you ask for like auto-generated like create questions like for
On
a
Chat
couple
GPT.
that are like in a, what can they talk about, right? Like they can't talk about the case. So they have to talk
Right.
about their relationship. That's it. Like it felt just I didn't think anything of it other than like producers are like, okay, and then how's this gonna affect your marriage? Talk about that. You know, like
Because I
like it's what else are you gonna say? And people being like, you know, like the Gorgas. The Gorgas are a very different case. That was a marriage that was for all of us saw that he was horrible to her, hated her.
you talking
And
about Teresa and Joe?
yeah, she just
Judice,
needed
yeah.
the distance to see it for herself. Right?
Yes, I agree with that. And I think it got to a point where she couldn't even she tried after they got out of the jail, but it just she didn't see him the same, I think.
Mhm. And I think she's being real when she talks about like the last year of my mom's life you robbed from me.
Yeah. And I just can't I just can't. You know what? You saying that I completely forgot because I was looking at it like she just can't see him the same, but that could be a big part as to
And
why.
I feel like even if she had mentioned it to him, it's not even so that I know that like I can't see a Joe like him being able to receive that
Yeah.
in any meaningful way. Like he's not. You see the dumb shit he's saying. That like hey, you were deported and you're still like praising ICE. You can't even get in the room.
I was gonna say, like, that to me is so crazy. You're still supporting this, but you know, half the cast is, but people don't want to talk about that because they love anyway.
Right.
We know how that is. Even the ones they call black so and so. All right. Anyway, I ain't even gonna get
You know how I feel about that one. The cop.
I once saw her so mad she bit someone's fingernails off. So Dolores was around there biting fingernails.
And we're talking about fraud. And every reunion, her ex-husband is showing up with his a very clearly mob-related injury. Like they busted out his kneecaps one year. They bent your fingers back, literally like straight out of The Godfather. Every reunion, and we're just acting like this is normal.
And then Frank was disbarred.
Like
I consider myself to be a fast cookie or like think of things. I did not think about them being mob related.
Are you kidding? The media, like that show is crazy to me because I'm like, what was it? Caroline Manzo's father-in-law
Yes.
out in the truck with his dick in his mouth. Like, how do we not talk
Now,
about
wait a minute. Wait. No, I did not know his penis was in his mouth.
Did I make that up? I hope I didn't make that up. I really hope I didn't make that up.
Y'all, did she make that up? Wasn't it Albert Manzo? Now you're gonna make me look it up. Y'all, I thought you know what? It's my fault for continuing. Hold on. Albert Manzo.
It's also the way people act like Carolyn Manzo's a good person. I'm like, she's in like her husband's in the mob. She married a mobster.
Well, and she wrote a letter for her
sister. She wrote a letter.
Yes.
In support of the guy who tried to kill her. She's bad.
With his penis. Man, I can't even type. Say with his penis in his mouth. Child, it say no search. Albert Manzo father found in trunk with his.
Maybe I made it up.
Let me look one more time. Because I spelled penis wrong. Hold on. Ex hubby of Real Housewives of New Jersey star hired mobster. No, that's something different. Cops track leads in Manzo slaying. The Gorgas say they are party people. Child, what? I don't see it, but
okay.
Y'all let me know. I know he was in the trunk though.
Maybe
his name is Tiny Manzo. Slain gangland style. What does that mean?
I feel like his dick was in his mouth. That's what that means.
Okay, wait. His body was found. His partially clad body was found in a plastic bag in the trunk of his Lincoln Continental in the parking lot of a hillside shopping center 4 days later. An autopsy revealed he weighed 375 pounds, died of multiple bullet wounds to the chest. Johnson said there was no truth to rumors that the body had been mutilated.
Okay, because I literally was like, well, Reddit says it. That's the only place I found it. The first.
Okay, so, but you know what? I'll be trusting Reddit. Reddit is where I saw a Real
And
Housewives
he was
contract
in the
posted.
mob. They do that. Like I honestly, the
Because
busted
that's a message, right?
when they busted like Frank's kneecaps being I was just like,
Both broke at the
that
same
was so
time.
crazy to me. I was like,
Yeah. And
and we just put
Dolores's
this
ex,
man on TV, and Dolores is supposed to act like she's an upstanding citizen.
David, moved in to take care of him.
Like we're just acting like this is normal.
I thought
Pardon?
I thought maybe I forgot and put it in my mind as he had double knee replacement.
He said he had an injury in his knees.
I'm screaming. I love you so much. I cannot even say. Y'all, Chai, there's something that you wanted to promote.
Yes. Am I getting weird.com? It's with the dashes in between each. I know that like everyone, if you're thinking you're horrified by everything in the Epstein files, and as we look back on things like in society and see the way that like look at old Britney Spears interviews and the way that like we were conditioned to talk about children,
Mm-hmm.
you know that like it did, we look back on it and it doesn't, we don't remember how crazy and inappropriate it felt at the time.
Yeah.
And I think right now we are being aggressively groomed to accept the abuse of children.
Mm.
And I made this website, and it's a quick check where every 90 days you set a calendar and you just recommit to the way that you are thinking about children and their
Mm.
safety. I'm not saving any of the answers. I implore, like, don't take my word for it. You can check the source code for yourself. No Google Analytics, nothing. The only thing I'm tracking is I have like a Goat Runner tracker on there just to count purely how many people have taken it. But your answers never leave your phone. But I just want to do my part, and I want us to all do our part in just making sure that we are not allowing ourselves to shift our values
Mm.
and accept things, because yeah, there's no way that you're going to see everything in the Epstein files and we're going to see people go completely unpunished, and it doesn't shift the way that you think and what you think is acceptable. So check it out.
I was coughing and I thought I muted the first time I didn't. I like that because, like you said, you're not even keeping the answer. It's more of a reminder to us to stay committed to keeping our kids safe. I will be filling that out.
And other kids safe, just the way that like
Yes, other kids,
I
yes.
have questions about like media in there, like, and then there are like it only should take like 5 minutes. Link at most, you know, if like you're like if you have to read it a lot, the child again, literacy is a classist and they purposely don't want us to be able to read. So I'm not even judging when I say like we are in a literacy crisis. It's hard for people to read. So maybe it'll take you 30 minutes max, but I think that that's enough to just every 90 days, just recommit to the way that you're thinking about children and what you think is acceptable, because it's happening rapidly.
And we could get desensitized. I have to remind myself not to get desensitized when I know that we as Black folks go through so much in society, and then we have kids and this and that. And so you get desensitized to these things sometimes, because sometimes it feels like that's your only option to be sane moving through life. So it is a good reminder to like, no, especially these are our baby. We need to go back to having villages.
Yeah. Especially that one, we have like there's lots of states that are trying to like reduce the age of consent.
Yes.
Right. So you have to prioritize, if you care about children and child safety, and the way you have to prioritize keeping that in mind, that like this is not okay, even if your government's telling you that it is, and children are children. So yeah.
I appreciate that. That's really good. I like that. Again, I will be filling mine. I have it pulled up on my phone now. I just have to do it. So I will be doing it. And what I'll do is I will remember to put the link in the description box for those watching on YouTube, and then for those listening on Apple or wherever it is you listen to the episode description, and you'll just be able to boom, click the link. Where else can everybody find you? I love your Go ahead, tell everybody where they'll find you, and then I'll tell.
I'm Fly Chai on everything. I haven't really posted that much. I'm really only using TikTok
Yeah, I
much
was gonna
now. So
say,
yeah. So
and
follow
that's
me
what
on
I was gonna
TikTok.
mention. FLYCHY.
Yeah.
She committed to doing a sad story every day
Can I
until.
tell you what happened with that? I filmed them
Wait,
all.
tell
And
everybody. No, tell everybody what you were doing first.
okay, so I've been doing telling a sob story every day until brands notice me and invite me to Coachella. So I had filmed like 7 of them back to back. And then when the TikTok transferred over, I had scheduled them out and it didn't schedule.
Because
And
I've been
I didn't even know, so I thought they were just coming out every day. And now I like have to like refilm it, but I was like, okay, I needed to get my hair done. Like once I get my, I'll like refilm everything.
because I've been looking forward to the story
No,
you
we're
told
still
about
back
your
on, and I have to like
mustache.
try to remember the ones that I made already.
The story you told about trying to wax your mustache because your mom wouldn't let you, and then your friend was lighter, so it looked different on you. I was like, this is genius. Tell these stories. I make sure I comment like every single one that pushed the algorithm. I'm like, get Chai to Coachella.
Thank you, because I love Justin Bieber so much. I know that's my old lame thing. Is like I am an like believer.
You're a believer. I love that for you. Brands, y'all, follow her on TikTok. Comment. We need to get Chai to Coachella. I can already see the fits.
Oh,
Literally, I'm looking. I can already see. Y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. This will be in 2 parts. So you'll know that when you see the first part release, and then the second part. I'm not making you wait a week. I like to release them back to back. That way people can have them. So we love y'all. We will talk to y'all later. If you don't agree, that's fine. Just keep it respectful in
and
these
don't
comments.
penalize Taria for any of my views.
Ciao. This podcast is a safe space for my guests. I can't always have, like, I don't want it to always be an echo chamber. Even though my human nature, can we be real for a second? People say, I want people to have different opinions to me. No, I'm human. I want to be right. Hello. But I work to try to be open.
Also, it's like you can have a different, but like be able to back it up. I want to hear. Just
yes,
don't
hear
have,
like
like,
what's
the
your
wrong
instead of
opinion.
y'all just don't like so.
Or just lying.
You know what I hate? Are we watching? If you state a fact, are we watching the same show? I just stated a fact, so clearly we are. Or when they say you just don't like so and so, that may be true, but I'm really trying to be unbiased here. Or if that's the case, then I'll have to cop to it and say, yep, you're absolutely right. So y'all let us know. Chai, I always love having it. Won't be
Thank
this.
you
It's
so
been too
much
long.
for having me.
You ain't been on since early 2025, I feel like, and
Oh
that's
yeah,
way
it's
too
been a
long.
long time. Yeah.
No, that's way too long. That's my fault. So I need to make sure I call on you. So make sure your mic is ready and on. What did the singer say? This mic is on, honey.
Period. Unlike Ashley Darby's, turn that shit off, please. I'm always gonna whack her. I'm
Should
sorry.
I ask her on Sunday, what is it about singing? Well, I
It
don't
makes
call it
it feel
singing.
like she's obsessed with Candace to me because I'm like, girl, like, why are you singing?
Why are
I
you?
know you have ears. You hear this.
And it's not even singing, it's noises that you're emitting from your vocal box traveling up through. I'm not going to be nice because also in these spaces, the point is not to be combative, clearly, right? I mean, let's be real, I don't know these people. But I do think Ashley is a type that would, and matter of fact, the flyer says, ask any and all questions. So I don't know. I think the questions are more so, I'm going from just collaborating, with them and being a content creator. I'm thinking the questions are probably more so from I don't know if I'm gonna be part of the panel or not. Either way, I think the question is more so for the audience members. I think all I know
I'm
is I'm gonna
excited
be
to
in
see
the
how this
building.
goes. Yes.
Girl, you see my picture when we're
And I
like
want to
this.
see if she bring that Josh boy.
Look, you see our pictures when we're like this. Playing the Brandy song with best friend.
Girl, get your picture.
No, our picture needs to be like this. Me being like, and her being like, and I'm gonna say, I asked the questions.
I love that.
I ask the questions. Y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, share. If you're listening, check out the visual on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, you can also jump over to the podcast if you're somewhere where you can't watch it or you don't know how to watch the screen. Because I normally listen to YouTube like it's a podcast when I can't watch. I just take it out of the screen, you know. But anyway, do all the things. We love y'all. We love you with the love of the Lord, and we will talk to y'all later. Let me take that back. See y'all.
Bye.